War Games! Or should I say, Blood and Guts? I've never been very good at winning Regal impressions. Other people in the office are much better at that than me. But there is a reason I am doing one. It is because William Regal, former NXT General Manager, to AEW confirmed. I'm Ollie Davis. Welcome to this breaking, immediate reaction review video to AEW Revolution 2022. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to WrestleTalk. We're going to have a full edited review from Laurie Blake later today and all the news and fallout happening after the pay-per-view from behind the scenes. But for now, here is a brief rundown of my thoughts and the big occurrences on the show. The biggest talking point being, yes, William Regal making his AEW debut. This came at the end of a very good match between Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. The whole story leading into their match together was that they wanted to test each other. They wanted to bleed with each other, was Moxley's main thing. And oh boy, did he bleed. I don't think Danielson bled, but he certainly had blood on him, all of Moxley's blood, all over him, and they had this 20-minute plus war, and I think it's Danielson's got a choke locked in, but Moxley flips it over. Danielson's shoulders are on the mat, 1, 2, 3. Danielson, another loss in AEW. He's been beaten a fair bit, but he used to be in WWE as well, so it works. He's the sort of guy who can get pinned a lot. Anyway, after the match, Danielson's like, what the hell? I did not deserve to lose that match. That was the referee's bad call. They start all brawling, and Moxley and Danielson are just going at each other. The referee calls for security to run down. Ding, ding, ding. The sort of WCW break it up. Bell starts ringing. And then who should walk out? From not behind the stage, like behind the scenes, through the entrance ramp, down from gorilla position on the stage. No, but sort of off to the side, between where the audience and the stage is. William Regal. Regal gets in the ring, he pulls them apart, and he's like, Moxley, don't you do that. I don't know what he said, but I'm imagining it was very much like Michael Caine in a mobster film, getting his two warring young son henchmen back into shape. He slaps Moxley across the face and then just gets his head right into Moxley's. So Regal's got Moxley's blood on his face now as well. Then turns to Danielson. Oh my God. The history with him and Danielson. This was Bryan Danielson's trainer. That's why he wears the sort of burgundy red tights. Or pants, rather. Y-fronts. Skimpy things. And Regal slaps him too. And then he's like, you two, shake hands. And they shook hands. And now it's like, okay, what we want. When this whole thing started, we were like, Danielson versus Moxley. Yes, please. And then AEW were like, wait. I've got something better for you. How about them two in a faction where they train younger stars like Lee Moriarty, like Daniel Garcia? I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds even better. But what about the match? Oh, don't worry, we'll give you the match still. They'll have to fight to earn each other's respect, and then they make the faction. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I can't think of anything better. Here's William Regal, presumably to be like the mob head boss. I don't know, he just brings such a sort of British crime element to it. I don't mean crime in a bad way. I mean just sort of the mob family, the EastEnders family. It's very exciting. Sort of Peaky Blinders sort of vibe. So now it's like, where do we go from here? Is Regal the manager of Mox and Danielson? Because previously I thought Mox and Danielson were going to be the kind of joint heads of whatever faction they create. Will there be a faction? Is this just a tag team? Are they going to run roughshod through the entire tag division now with Regal as their mentor / manager? Or Are they getting a faction together? Regal, his whole thing was NXT talent scouting. He'll just do NXT again in AEW. They can recruit all the cool young guys. You get 5 together. Hey, then what have you got? It's one of Regal's favourite 2 words, War Games, or Blood and Guts. I remember last week when Tony Khan announced said he'd bought Ring of Honor, a lot of people were like, get William Regal to run it. He's got nothing to do. Of course, Regal was released by WWE last year. One of Triple H's closest guys just let go from the company. Triple H to AEW confirmed soon as well. Also on the show, no titles changed hands. Everyone retained. Some excellent matches. Hangman Adam Page and Adam Cole in the main event was absolutely terrific. We have Red Dragon and Dark Order interference. Just as Adam Cole's matches usually are. I thought this was quite a predictable match going in, but my God, by the last 5 minutes, I thought Cole might get it. I'll just go from the top of the match the top of the card backwards. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara and Sting beat Andrade, Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy, where Sting did a dive off of the top of a sort of balcony entranceway through 2 layers of tables on Andrade, which, is crazy. Far more crazier was Sammy Guevara hitting a Spanish fly off the top of a stage element through just 1 table on Isaiah Cassidy. Insane. Moxley defeated Danielson, already spoke about that. Britt Baker retained against Thunder Rosa. Probably the weakest match on the card. Had a very tough match to follow from Punk and MJF that was before it. Baker retained via cheating again. I think a lot of people were ready for her to drop the title. Certainly didn't want interference, but that's the way it is. Looks like Rosa is going to have a match against Layla Hirsch, who beat Chris Statlander on the pre-show, on the buy-in, and the winner of those 2 will go on to face Thunder Rosa at an AEW show in San Antonio, Texas, which just so happens to be Thunder Rosa's home state. So maybe they're holding off on the title win until then. Punk versus MJF dog collar match, 25 minutes of bloody awesomeness, where Wardlow came down to the ring for the finish, and he's meant to give MJF the diamond ring, but I haven't got it. And that's when Punk knocks out MJF, and Wardlow goes, oh no, it's right here. He sort of leaves it on the canvas for Punk to use. Yeah, Wardlow and MJF, they're split up now. So expect that feud to continue, especially because in the Face of the Revolution ladder match, Wardlow won. To a huge ovation. He was so great in it. Everybody was. Great comedy spots from Orange Cassidy as well. He will now get a shot at the TNT champion in 2 weeks' time. Whoever has it after this week is going to be Sammy Guevara. He is facing Scorpio Sky at Wednesday. And then you think, hey, Wardlow, maybe he wins the belt there. You'd think he would. And then that's MJF's next program. Jade Cargill had a really fun match against Ty Conti. She retained the TBS title. Really, really good. Jade Cargill just full-on snogged Tay Conti at the start of the match. And then Tay Conti snogged her near the finish. Whew. We had Jurassic Express retaining their tag team titles against the Young Bucks and Red Dragon. Just an incredible match between these 3 teams. Just everything happened. Like the innovative spots that you could never even comprehend. But the story was that Red Dragon and the Bucks were working together. They imploded and Express retained in the end. So that sort of Bucks Red Dragon rift story is still going. Eddie Kingston and Chris Jericho opened the card. For me, my match of the night. Genuinely. I thought they went out there from the very get-go, really hard-hitting. Eddie was wrestling in his usual high-octane emotional style. And Jericho, to his credit, this was the best Jericho's looked in years. I thought he looked great, and he really matched Eddie, raised his game for that style, that sort of all-Japan, no selling, chops, German suplexes on the back of your neck. Really great stuff. And Eddie Kingston won And when he won, he was like, I won. And he was confused about it. It was just this beautiful emotional arc for his character. The guy who could not win the big one. Afterwards, he went to shake Jericho's hand because Jericho had promised him that he would shake his hand if he was beaten. But Jericho just walked away. And maybe, I always say this. I hope that Santana and Ortiz see how Jericho behaved there and they're like, Eddie, we're going to be with you instead. And the matches on the pre-show, Hook defeated QT Marshall. He was awesome. House of Black had an excellent match against Death Triangle with Eric Redbeard. Just insane. House of Black won. And like I already said, Hirsch defeated Statlander. And another very good match. 5 out of 5 show. I don't do those anymore, though. So for me, this is probably for pay-per-view caliber, 92%, 93 maybe? I don't know, I'm sort of plucking that out of the air. The problem for me, as always with these things, is it's 4 hours, 45 minutes long if you include the buy-in. I don't think pay-per-views should be over 3 hours. Call me old-fashioned, and I did get tired. Definitely dipped, particularly around the women's title match. But overall, oh, freaking hell! And Isaiah Swerve Scott, or Shane Strickland, as he is now known, was announced as a new signee in AEW. Whose house? Yeah. Which was very, very cool. So yes, please do subscribe. Go and watch our other videos from this weekend. We'll have more Revolution stuff to come. Jam that jam.